But joining us now with reaction to all we've been talking about, Fox News correspondent at large, Geraldo Rivera, trial attorney, Rebecca Rose Woodland, and she's the host, you know her well, Justice with Judge Jeanine. Judge Jeanine Pirro is with us. Let me start with you. You know, I saw this unfold. I see the Twitter report by Carrig. I know they got sucked in. They had no idea who this group was. This is the biggest pro-censorship group in the country. And I don't want the workers for Keurig fired. I don't want them. Now, unbeknownst to me, my people that love this show, love this channel, see it, they say, fine, if you're going to pick sides, they advertise on MS, on CNN, everywhere. Yeah. Everybody loves coffee, no matter your political views, Judge. I drink a ton of it.
I don't start my day without it, Sean. But here's what we saw. America gets it. America gets that what is happening now is that the left is not only trying to shut down the right on college campuses with their safe spaces and all that other nonsense, but they are trying to shut us down. They are trying to prevent people from watching us, trying to get us fired. And they are using people like Carrig and all those other like coffee companies or coffee maker companies from, you know, making us or allowing us to be on television. We are on television because people advertise on our shows.
Conservatives drink coffee, liberals drink it. You know, I got to give the CEO of Keurig.
Yep.
And I was inclined to just keep going with this.
Yep.
But I stopped when I saw his statement. I said, you know what? He was a victim here. They don't understand the bot programming. They don't understand the agenda, you know. But the fact that the left is so anti-free speech today, when all these attacks against conservatives come up, you know who never speaks up? Liberals. I thought they were free speech. You know, they're not. Because they would be supporting the right of people to watch this show and advertisers to freely watch this show. They're silent. What do you make of that?
Well, what we make of it is that there's a First Amendment in this country, and the First Amendment is there for a reason. The Founding Fathers and the Constitution clearly states that there can be two sides. Let's let everyone have a freedom of speech. That's what democracy is. If we don't have freedom of speech, what does it become? Fascism, socialism. The point of freedom of speech is so that people can hear views, people can understand and make their own evaluations. Nobody has
to watch this show, but by the way, never tune out. Yeah, we need you. No, you're saving the show.
But liberals and conservatives should watch your show. Why not? Why don't we listen to different opposing opinions and make our own decisions and don't come to rash conclusions? The point of law is that we are innocent until proven guilty. Sean, you never said, I was here Friday, you never said you supported Roy Moore. You never said that once.
I said I support not rushing to judgment.
Yes, you did. That's very different than supporting
I support the presumption of innocence. And let me bring Geraldo in. Geraldo, you actually, well, by the way, if I'm not here, Geraldo, our fun debates go away forever. And I would hate to have that happen. We disagree, but we get along great. One of the things that I love about you, speak your mind. When the left literally praised that interview, I thought I did the right thing. This is a serious allegation, should be non-political. We should get to the truth. Everybody deserves the presumption of innocence. I'm not backing down from one thing I said in here. I think that's the right position, and I don't like rush to judgment.
Boycotts stink, but hypocrisy stinks even worse than boycotts. When you have a group like Media Matters, which professes to support and protect the First Amendment, undermining the First Amendment rights of everyone else to have access to the shows that they want to watch, that is such gross hypocrisy, it is grotesque. The other thing is, everyone admits that no one put the nail in Roy Moore's political coffin more effectively than you. I know that was not your intention. But when you asked the tough questions, you asked every single question that had to be asked, and his answers didn't match the ferocity of the accusations. Everyone, even those on the fence, suddenly were saying to Roy Moore, hey, Judge, maybe you better find
by the way,
something else to do.
Ted Cruz pulled his support for Judge Moore. That is huge. Huge news tonight.
Well, there's that fifth accuser and that whole inscription in the yearbook. My goodness, how creepy is it that a district attorney signs a 17-year-old kid's yearbook and signs it with flourishes and love? I'm surprised he didn't put a heart, a broken heart. Why didn't you call me an XXX? I mean, it was pretty. It's contemporaneous proof, as I've asked for in these cases, because, you know, you have no statute of limitations. This case is 38 years old or 40 years old in the case of the fifth accuser today. You have no, but you have some contemporaneous corroboration that Roy Moore, the district attorney, was hitting on this high school senior.
Okay, well, look, I spent my career doing this and trying to assess between a complaint and whether or not there is sufficient evidence to go forward with a criminal case, prove beyond a reasonable doubt that a crime has been committed. And make no mistake, everybody talks about the presumption of innocence, but every time a prosecutor goes into that grand jury, we don't go into the grand jury thinking we're going to give them the presumption of innocence. We go in saying we're going to get a conviction here. Now, this fifth person and the statement that she gave is compelling evidence, and there is no question, based upon what I read in that statement, that this 32-year-old district attorney was grooming this young girl, going to her place of business where, as a young waitress, she would stay there until 10 o'clock at night. He was there in the same seat every night, waiting until she left. He complimented her. He touched her hair. He waited until she left and would leave when she left. He then talked about whether or not she would need a ride home. He took her home. He was targeting her, sizing her up, contemporaneous, confirming, corroborating evidence in the yearbook. Love Roy Moore. It's all there.
This only came out today.
Right.
We have seen those kids with Duke lacrosse wrongly, falsely accused, that 88 professors jumped on the bandwagon, rushed to judge. Those kids' lives will forever be impacted. That was a case. So is it wrong? You were convinced today, weren't you?
It was today that I was convinced.
Yearbook.
It's not just the yearbook. Look, women, young girls do not feel that in a situation where someone has power.
But today was a tipping point for you.
Today was a tipping. Who has more power than a sitting DA? That man has control over the grand jury.
And don't rush to judgment in light of Clarence Thomas, in light of Duke lacrosse, in light of Ferguson, Trayvon? All these people are wrong so often.
We cannot rush to judgment.
Tonight tipped your balance.
Today tipped it. I know this too well.
Why don't we be clear? You didn't rush to judgment, but you put an interview on national television with all the information.
For many.
It's not as if you didn't cover the story. You covered it clearly. You were so effective. You were better than any attorney I know in a cross-examination in a courtroom.
By the way, why am I in this business?
I'm not, but Sean, unbeknownst to you, you tipped the scale.
I asked,
and to people in the business,
Judge, it's too serious. This isn't a game. These are people's lives.
You cannot.
I am a father of a daughter.
Right.
I am a brother to sisters. Geraldo, let you weigh in.
I think that when you mentioned the fact that you have a teenage girl and you found the whole concept of someone in his early 30s, particularly a person with authority and power like a district attorney, dating someone your daughter's age, you would find that disgusting, outrageous. You would not tolerate it for a second. And I think that in that moment, Sean, you became the surrogate for dads everywhere, all across the country. And I think with that question and his halting and contradictory answer, you really took this from a remote charge and a if it's true kind of context to one that really allowed people to put themselves in that position and suggest, you know something, this is really creepy. This guy is really beyond the pale, and it's just, you know, it gives you the kind of heebie-jeebies. And is this the person? Now, I understand Alabama, and, you know, my lawyers from Birmingham, I was honored down there. I love Alabama. But it has a quirky, defiant streak to it, and I think that we have to appeal to the Alabama voters now, the common sense, and I believe that they will rise to the occasion that even though they want to defy the man, this is the case where they've got to go with the
literally
evidence.
have seconds.
Okay, but it's not about that right now. What it's about now is about the fact that people will see this for what it is. This isn't about politics anymore.
No.
This is about people seeing as someone who is grooming a young woman and a sexual predator.
Rebecca,
exactly. Look, Friday, I had already determined that I didn't believe.
Interesting.
I did not believe him. I told Sean that, but that doesn't mean we don't cover it further. That doesn't mean we don't rush to judgment.
Yep.
But now today with this fifth accuser, I am even more certain.
I have been more
certain.
right than wrong in most of my career because I don't rush to judgment. These are people's lives. There's a reason. One of the big 10 commandments is thou shalt not bear false witness. Because when that happens, it's bad. But if somebody's a predator, we got to get the truth. We don't need these people on the street. You spend a lifetime putting those people away. All right. Thank you all for being with us.